Welcome to Unstoppable Stories That Move. I'm your host, Sally Hed Dahlquist. I've traveled all over the world to run marathons and am fascinated by the ordinary people who do extraordinary things. They just won't quit. No matter what life throws at them, they keep going. Mile after mile, challenge after challenge, they find a way to push beyond their limits. So listen as these seemingly normal people share their stories of resilience from the race course and beyond, and inspire us to keep moving forward too. Let's get to it. Hi, everyone. I'm Sally, zooming in from Afton, Minnesota. Thanks for tuning in. I'm here today with the unstoppable Christelle Douillet. Yay!
Hello.
Hello,
Sally. Hello, everybody.
Did I say your name right?
Yeah, I'm used to people saying it many ways. So it says Christelle Douillet, but I heard so many ways of sounding it. So, that's fine.
So I looked it up in French. It said it means like cozy or comfortable. Is that true?
It does. It has two meanings, actually. So it's either cozy, comfortable, like a nice little nest. It has a second meaning, which is very different. That means being a wimp. Being, very weak and, very sensitive to pain, which I find
Wow.
it hilarious to have this name with when you do so many, marathons and ultra.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that is the complete opposite of you. You are absolutely
I don't know if it's the
unstoppable.
complete opposite, but yeah, it's not completely matching, I guess.
Well, my maiden name is Hed, Hed, which in Swedish means moors, like the British moors, the wind-swept fields.
Okay.
But, I think about my head, my AGAD, and my family, my brother and I are pretty competitive about being smart. And so I kind of like that. It's a little fitting. Smart head.
I didn't know you had a Swedish background. So my husband.
Oh, really?
My husband, grandparents, were Swedish. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. My mom's family is German and my dad's family is from Sweden. And they all came over with the typical Scandinavian immigration in the late 1800s to Minnesota.
Yes.
Yeah. And so when Charlotte and I were talking the other day, we were thinking about, wow, how the three of us all kind of look alike. We're this nice continuum of fair-skinned, Caucasian, white women. And I have the darkest hair.
Same age.
Same age. We're all kind of athletic. And she has nice fluffy blonde hair with a little bleachy in it. And you're the fairest of us all.
I don't know about that, but yeah. When people see me, they think I am from Scandinavia, and I'm not. It's my husband, but yeah.
And you met him here in the United States, right?
Correct. Otherwise, I would not have stayed in the US. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, a little bit more about you. You are definitely unstoppable. You are a globe-trotting mega marathoner. You've run over 300 marathons now, along with many ultras and 100-milers. And now, after all these races, you've run 300 races, you're still getting faster. And I know in Berlin, when we ran there, you set a PR by 25 minutes. That is crazy. And now Charlotte told me that you just qualified for Boston. Is that right?
Yeah. So in Berlin, I got a surprise that I run, really faster with not major effort. So I figured, to change a little bit my perspective. I always thought of myself as a very slow runner. I have no inner, speed. Yeah. But in Berlin, I got this good time. So I changed a little bit the way I train with that new perspective. And in London, which we did together, I came at 4 hours and 7 seconds, which was 7 seconds off BQ.
Yeah.
So then post London, I worked again a little bit differently. And in July, I just had a big BQ. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to get me in. But
what was your time for your BQ?
I did 3 hours, 54 and 27 seconds.
Wow. And then what's the cutoff?
It's 4 hours for me, for my age group. I have
Okay.
to say it was one of these down marathons.
Yeah.
But even with the, next year they're gonna put a 5 minutes,
Yes.
penalty or whatever they call it. I would still
Yeah.
qualify with those new rules. So we'll
Oh,
see.
great. Yeah. So one thing with Boston is that you have to qualify. You need a certain time to enter the race for them to allow you to go in. And people are running so much faster these days. You often need to be like 5 or 10 minutes faster. And so a lot of people are running downhill marathons to get those faster times. Well, Boston has caught on to this. And now they're adding an elevation, a hill adjustment, so that if your marathon that you're running has a significant downhill, they're going to increase your time. so, so it
Yeah.
kind of gives everybody,
Which is strange because, sure, it brings a little bit of speed, but actually it's more painful. So some people, they do worse in downhill.
yes.
You definitely hurt more. And, there's, if you go by this kind of penalties, there's many factors. What about a race where you have a wind on your back, or, there's
Mm-hmm.
so many factors. I mean, yes, so they change the rules for that. I mean, that's their right. It's their race. They do whatever they want. But
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure it's, making the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. I'm glad I did a BQ, and we'll see if they get me in or not. But that's definitely very different from timing that I used to do a few years ago, where I mean I had some marathon when I was at 6 hours 30. So
Yeah,
that's
me too.
that's quite a change.
What race did you
But
run
yeah.
to BQ?
So it's one in North Bend, Washington. It's
Oh, yeah.
Jack and Jill Tunnel Marathon.
Yep.
So definitely, I mean, it's a race that is known to have a fast course. Definitely.
Yeah.
The weather was nice. It was not as cool. They do it both Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I ran the Sunday race. Saturday was a little bit better, but it was really pretty and very well organized. Yeah, if it was not so far from North Carolina, I would go there quite often. And the area
Yes.
is gorgeous. If you like to hike or you like nature, oh, it's so beautiful there.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I love Washington State. It's a what is it? It's a something called like a cold temperate rainforest. It's a cool rainforest.
Yeah,
So they get
yes.
a lot of rain clouds coming in off the Pacific Ocean, and then it kind of hits the
Mm-hmm.
mountain range and then drops a lot of rain, but the temperature is cold. It's cooler up there. So,
Cooler for sure. That weekend here in North Carolina, it was 99 degrees,
oh
and over
man.
there it was 70s.
Oh,
So quite a difference. Where that race is not the forest like in the how it's called, the National Park Olympia,
yeah, Olympia
which is a little
National
bit
Park.
more on the coast. Yeah, this was a little bit more inland,
Okay.
but it was gorgeous.
Yes. That's one thing I like about traveling around is that you really get to see all the different
Oh,
states. And you
yes.
started running in 2011, the world all over the US. And I know you seem to have finished your 50 states pretty fast. Like what, in just 7 years? When did you start running? When did you finish your 50 states?
Yeah, so my very first marathon was in April 2011, and I finished my 50 state in January 2018 in Hawaii, in Maui, which was fabulous.
And Hawaii is the 50th state.
Yes, it was not planned. That's just how the calendar ended up. That I was not really making it a special target, but that's how it came up. And that was a fabulous way to end. The Maui Oceanfront Marathon is beautiful. The race director is really, really nice. And he's doing a lot of extra things for 50 staters. It was a fabulous trip.
I'm about to finish my 50 states in August
Yes.
here, 2025. My last date is West
Mhm.
Virginia, and I'm gonna
Yes,
run.
that will be nice. And I'm so sorry I won't be able to see you finishing your 50 states, especially
Um,
West Virginia, is drivable from here. And it's also a beautiful state.
mhm.
It will come up pretty quick for you
Yeah, it's next
in a few
Saturday.
weeks.
You got like 8 days to go.
Oh, 8 days. Yeah, we already there. Yes.
It's the Moonlight on the Falls Marathon, and you start at 10 p.m. and you run overnight. And
Oh, so nice.
I've been intrigued by this race for years, and we're finally going to go. It just worked out with a calendar. I mean, this spring, I just really hit it hard starting March, April, May, June. I was doing a marathon every other weekend to finish my
Yeah,
50
you traveled a
states.
lot. Yes.
We did. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. Super fun though. And so we're going to drive the camper down to West Virginia and check it out, spend some time there. And uh, at least two of my friends are going to come with and meet us there. That'll be really nice.
That's that's fabulous. It's always such a milestone when you finally reach the end of your 50 state.
Mm-hmm.
For most people it's a several year process, or sometimes some people it's a decades, it takes them many, many years.
Yeah.
But so when you finish that, it's really a good feeling.
Yeah. I've been running for 21 years now, but I didn't really get
Yes.
serious about those 50 states until the last 4 or 5 years, and then really made a big
Yes.
effort to go,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
So for
As-
me, same. The first few years, I didn't have this goal, and then when I heard about it, I decided to, finish my 50 state before I turned 50. So that was a good
yeah.
a good number.
Yeah.
So that makes you push your calendar to, when you have a deadline. So I think it's a little bit like you, right? You had
Yeah.
you imposed on yourself some deadlines.
Yes. Yeah. That really keeps you
So
motivated. You know, you've
it
got to
does. It
constantly
does.
prepare and do it. I find it's best for me if I wait about 3 weeks between marathons. It gives you enough
Mm-hmm.
time to recover and then start building up your strength again. And my
Yeah,
other big goal was to finish my 100th marathon, but before I turned 50. And that was in 2019, and I did it by one day. I finished my 100th marathon the day before my 50th birthday.
that's perfect. Perfect birthday. Good
Yeah.
celebration to have reached that milestone.
It was, because I never thought I could do something like that. I'm kind of the accidental runner. The fact that I'm still doing it amazes me, because it just, it's hard. It's hard. And yet
Yeah,
I'm
it's hard,
still,
and when you start, you had no. At least for me, I had no idea it would become, this major thing in, my daily life. Basically, my husband has just overheard me and say, Neither did I." My husband is didn't know.
does he run with you or do any activities
No,
together?
is not a runner at all. He's a tennis player, and I cannot play tennis at all.
Oh,
And so sometimes he comes to a few races, but not so much. He doesn't travel
uh-huh.
as he doesn't like it as much as I do. But we're
Yeah.
leaving Monday for a big trip, so
Yeah, you're going
uh,
to
we go.
Australia?
We are going to Australia, which is a major trip for us.
Yes.
So that will be really exciting.
That is
So that is
amazing.
why I will not be able to attend your state finish, because
Mm-hmm.
I'll be on the other side of the planet.
Well, I will accept that reason. That is totally acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband does not run at all either. His feet don't like it, but he will bring his bike and bike along, and we do play tennis together. I love tennis as well.
And he does travel with you. I remember I met him in Berlin.
Yes. Yeah, so we first met in Berlin 2020 4. Berlin 2024. Sorry. Yes, it's just
Correct.
almost
No,
years.
didn't we meet? Actually, didn't we meet At Marincourt, no. That we met at Marincourt after Berlin. Yes.
Yeah, so we met in Berlin of 2024. Super fun. It was always on my bucket list to go to Berlin, and that was the 50th anniversary of the Berlin Marathon, which the first one was on my fifth birthday in 1974.
Oh wow!
I thought that was
Yes.
nice synergy. And I went with Marathon Tours, and we met at one of their fun little cocktail receptions. We didn't really talk that much, but it was our friend Tan after the race who saw you again at the Cosis Peace Marathon a week later.
Yes. We saw each other because we were, so it was the 100th year anniversary of Kosice in Slovakia. It was a 100th year marathon. So they had a lot of events, and the city was very much involved to make it a special race. And so at one of the events before the race, I was there attending. I had my jacket from Berlin. And I saw this guy with this jacket from Berlin. That was the week before. So we started talking, and that's how I met Tan. And Tan is a friend of yours. So
Yes. Yeah. And he loves to go to marathons that have special anniversaries, like that 100 years for Cosis. And
yeah.
And he had asked me to go, and I really wanted to, but I just couldn't quite work it out with our schedule. Mike had not been to Berlin before, and we decided to go to Amsterdam instead. And that was really fun too, but it wasn't another marathon.
Yeah.
He says,
Yeah, but Berlin is a fabulous city. I've never
oh,
been to
yeah.
Amsterdam, but yeah, it's also a really nice place to go visit, of course.
Yeah. And I've been to Berlin 3 times now. The first time was in 95 and then 2001 and then now in 2024. And it's really significantly changed every time I've been there, so much time. And especially the Berlin Wall was coming down in 1989.
89, yes.
1989. Yeah. And so then when we were there in 95, the wall was still in place, Checkpoint Charlie was still in place, and they had construction cranes everywhere rebuilding the wall. And the Reichstag was wrapped up in this silver fabric. They were doing an art display with Christo and Jean-Claude at the Reichstag. And
oh, yes.
And, and they were rebuilding the glass dome. And we went back in 2001 and they had finished it. And a lot of the Checkpoint Charlie had been remodeled. Now we went back and the Reichstag was finished. They'd built some other new monuments and museums. The wall was essentially almost gone. And we went into the Reichstag and there was pictures of the Reichstag in 1995 when we were there, wrapped up in silver fabric. And I'm imagining looking at that picture that they had and going, well, there's me right there on the lawn. I can't prove it, but we were there. We were there when they were taking those pictures. It was kind of fun, so you get to go back to these places and see. I'm rambling now. So,
but it's worth rambling because Berlin is a fabulous, vibrant city. It's really a special place.
Yeah. And after you met Tan, then we connected again in Marine Corps because Tan kept saying, "Oh, Sally, you have to meet Christelle. You have to talk to her. You have to meet her because she is also a biologist. You work in the lab there, and I'm a scientist too."
Yes, we have that other connection to the science and the lab work. Yes.
Yeah. So Tan was just a really great connection. He knew that we had this in common, that we were both lab rats. And then later on, he started bugging me about running in Wilmington at the end of February to cheer you on because you were going to be running your 300th marathon. And it was just busy for my schedule. I didn't think I could do it. But then my friend came up with this great idea for this podcast. And I was like, well, if I'm ever going to start the podcast, if I'm ever going to do it, this 300th marathon thing is just amazing. And Christelle's amazing. Tan's amazing. And I should just go. So I whipped everything together in about 2 weeks and got some microphones and we came and you agreed to sit down with me. We had so much fun in Wilmington at the marathon. And then we sat down at the King Neptune restaurant in Wilmington and had a little chat. And Mike was our cameraman. And I just loved our conversation. It was so much fun. But the audio turns out was a little too hard to hear with all the restaurant background noise. So thanks for coming again to resume with me,
Yes, you're
REZOOM, as
welcome.
it was RESUME. And after Wilmington, you and I connected again in London, and my sister got to meet you, and we got to go out for dinner some more. So it's just been
Yes.
awesome getting to know you better and hanging out and just kindred spirits.
Yes, it was another great trip again. It was another fabulous race, great city again. So yes, it was really nice to see you again. We were not in the same hotel, so unfortunately we didn't have like the whole time together. But we, like you said, we went to dinner and we saw at one of the reception. Yeah, that was really nice. It was nice to meet your sister also.
Yeah, because you had gone on that trip on your own. Your husband wasn't able to go with you for that.
Yes, he didn't want to. By that time, we knew we would go to Australia. So for him, that would have been too much to go to London in April and late April, and then go to Australia in August. That was too many trips. So he preferred to go to Australia rather than London, which I'm glad.
Yes, that's a longer trip. Yes, I have that on my bucket list. Eventually, I'll go someday. So, so you'll have to tell me
Yes.
more about it. Yeah, we're going to France at the end of September, so I'm very excited
Oh,
about that.
fabulous.
Yeah, we're going to go to
Fabulous.
Nice and then Cinque Terre, and of course, I found a marathon on this
Oh,
trip.
yes. Oh, you'll have to tell me more about it. We can exchange, some some ideas if you want or stuff like that. Nice
Yes.
is nice.
Yeah, our friend who's taking us there used to be stationed in the Navy at Villa La France. And so he was going to tour us around.
You'll have a great time there.
Yes. Let's go back to maybe some of your early life. You do not shy away from challenges at all. You're originally from France and you came to the United States as a young woman, like in your early 20s with just two suitcases. You didn't know anybody. You had a hard time speaking the language or understanding the Southern drawl of North Carolina. Tell us about that experience. What was that like?
So I was not so young. I was actually just 30. I came to do my
Oh,
postdoc
okay.
in Charleston, South Carolina. But still, it was still quite of a challenge. Of course, the language, different place. I came to do my postdoc in a research field that was completely different from my doctorate.
Mm-hmm.
So the work was challenging, and there were a lot of things that happened that year that were, like I lost my father 2 weeks
Yeah.
before I had to came here in the US. There were a lot of things that all combined together to make it a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And the position I was hired as a postdoc turned out to be very different from what was advertised. Basically, the person who was my boss, kind of not kind. He actually lied on what the position would be and the situation, the lab condition. He just needed some hands in the lab, and he basically lied to get me in.
Oh.
So it was quite challenging. I almost turned back my visa and left, but I was really close because I wasn't sure it was worth the fight and the challenge. But like you say, I'm not a quitter, so I kept trying to make it work, and I did. And so that's how I started in the US. Yes.
Did you change jobs that first year?
So yes, I came for this. I was hired as a postdoc with this person, and because the situation was terrible, I kind of put a little foot in another lab, to try to collaborate. And then during that year, I got an award to stay longer. So when I because I got the award, I stay longer. But then I didn't stay in the first lab.
Mm-hmm.
I did that second year in another lab that was much better condition and better science, better people.
Part of the mission of doing the podcast is to draw attention to my new charity to raise money for medical research, and all about that. What is your area of expertise? What are you studying?
So I work on so my PhD is in physiology and nutrition, and so that's what I was doing for my doctorate. I work on antioxidants in the context of diabetes, and then after my postdoc, I had the little detour via to surgery department that was supposed to again to be a short-term thing, and they gave me a faculty position to stay in surgery. So instead of being a very, very short-term thing, I stayed 10 years to do research in surgery.
Wow.
In critical care. But then after 10 years, it was way longer than I had planned to. So I came back to do nutrition. And right now I'm working in a lab that does study nutrition in the context of toxicology, arsenic exposure. That's what we're studying, because arsenic is a very common contaminant in water and even in some food. And arsenic has a lot of very bad effects, of course. One of them being that it increases your risk for diabetes. So that's what we are studying in this lab. And that's very interesting.
Yeah, and arsenic used to be used fairly commonly in products, including makeup and lipstick. I think
yes,
it helps.
in paint, and even quite recently, it was used a lot in agriculture, in poultry. People were raising poultry. It was used. I mean, years ago, it was really in so many products. People were completely exposed. But even today, people are exposed all over the world. Even in the U.S., it's not like only poor country exposure. You can be exposed via work. Some type of work expose you to arsenic. But like I said, if you have well water in the US, wells are not managed by EPA standard, and a lot of people have contamination from their water that is coming from wells. And all over the world, in many countries and many continents, the water is contaminated because the soil itself, the ground, the rocks, if you want, contain arsenic, and therefore the water become loaded with arsenic, and then people drink that. And so it's a very, very common problem all over the world. So there's millions of people in the world that are exposed to arsenic.
Is there some kind of map of geography that maybe says which areas of the world are high in arsenic?
Yes. There's many maps is published. U.S. Geological system also makes survey for U.S. area that are high in arsenic. So in North Carolina, here we have a little band of arsenic. There's a band that goes up to New Hampshire. There's some out west, like in Arizona area. I mean, it's very localized, but like I said, it's quite common. So, but if you're on a city water system, which is most people, you have to say, but it's definitely not everybody in the US. So city water is regulated via EPA. So if your water from your faucet comes from your city system, your water should be below 10 ppb, which is considered to be like, it's not exactly safe, but it's manageable, let's say.
Okay, so 10 parts per billion.
Correct, 10 ppb.
Yeah, so I can see at the usgs.gov, they have the arsenic statistics and information. It's the U.S. Geological Survey.
Also, many states do have their own maps.
Oh, there's the map.
So again, it's only if you're on a well water that the maps are related to you. If you're on a city water, the water is cleaned up for, not for everything. It's not cleaned up, for example, for PFAS and so many other pollutants,
Yes.
but for arsenic is controlled. So you would not have arsenic exposure.
Okay.
That's the good part.
Okay, it has the map. There are some yellow counties and green counties, but it's pretty small. I can't read it. I'm in the green county.
Good. Now, you can have safe water and still be exposed through food. Very famously, rice, especially rice that comes from the US, that is grown in the US, is often quite high in arsenic. That depends of each culture, really, where the rice field came from. But yes, rice is still not a major concern because you're not gonna eat tons of rice. But for example, for baby formula that is made up from rice powder, it could be a problem because the baby is so small and they do eat a lot of those baby formulas. So regulation by EPA here is important. People think EPA is here to hinder the economic progress. No, EPA is here to protect the public from many contaminants, be they natural or man-made for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's amazing all the different work that they do and the research studies that go on. People don't realize how much is going on in the background that you may not know about.
Oh,
and my background is cell death. I'm like the grim reaper of the biology world. I study dead and dying cells. Why do they die? And your body is always remodeling and repairing itself. And sometimes your cells die because they naturally reach the end of their lifespan, like your red blood cells are automatically replaced. And sometimes your cells are injured or there's this contaminant like arsenic that kills them. And then your body goes in and launches some kind of immune response and starts repairing them. And that's where I come in. How to fix the damage.
You hope that your repairing system works well, but it's not always working well.
Yeah.
So
with you're studying the antioxidants, and those are pretty important in repairing and remodeling your body because oxidants are also detrimental. They'll also start degrading your cells. So I know you're pretty smart and you have this background in nutrition. And you told me that after each marathon, you like to have a Bloody Mary.
No. That's an exaggeration. I would like to, but I do it only maybe a couple times a year for a very special race. The vegetables and the salty thing, it's a nice drink to recover, but the alcohol, not so much. So I like it, but I don't do it too often at all.
Oh, okay.
But for the 300s, for my 300th marathon, it was worth it to have one Bloody Mary, the next day.
Yeah, that was fun. We sat at the restaurant and
that was
had
really fun.
Bloody Marathons. And we're going to have to come up with a recipe. How did you get into running? One of the questions, about the podcast is, who are these crazy people and why do they run so much? Why do you think you run so much and what got you started?
So when I started running, and honestly, it was jog walk at first. It was purely, I was, stressful situation. It was really to manage stress, to to take care of my mental health and to release pressure.
Yeah,
and so that
me too.
that was really the reason. And that was also at the time I was also I'd gained a lot of weight, so it was really for mental health, but it was also for general health purposes. And that was my reason to start. But then during my very first half marathon, so I had run only very short distances with
Hmm.
a training program. We were doing 5K.
Yep.
I think I did one or maybe only one 10K ever. And a friend told me, "Oh, we're gonna do this half marathon on the Outer Banks.
Hmm.
Come with us, it's gonna be fun." And
Yeah.
it was a fabulous experience for me. We rented a big beach house. We were maybe 30 people, 30 friends,
Oh,
at the
wow.
beach to do this race, and it was a fabulous weekend overall. But then, not only that, I discovered that a race is very different from a training run. A race
Yes.
is really for me pure joy and excitement and energy, and I was so happy doing that. That it was I'd never run more than 6.5 miles, I think, by that time, and I jumped into a half marathon, and instead of
Hmm.
being like too much, I couldn't have enough. When we finished, I was still bouncing all over, full of energy and excitement and just pure joy. So that's how I started. First for mental relief, mental health
Hmm.
and just good health. But once I discovered the race, I realized that a race is very different from just training runs. And that's and when you get this first medal, your first bling, oh, it was so special. And
Yes.
so then it I became very quickly not addicted is not proper term, but very excited to do more races. So I did a lot of half marathons at first,
Hmm.
and then when I kind of explored that distance enough, I wanted to challenge myself with something else, and I tried my first full marathon.
Yeah, and
And
sounds like that experience you had at your first marathon was pretty much the complete opposite of the first one, where you were sick and you didn't think you were going to make it. What do you think happened there?
the first full marathon was actually barely 6 months after my first half.
Okay.
I trained some, but it was still my first full. But it turns out for the race weekend, I had bronchitis,
Oh
and
no.
I was under very strong antibiotics. I had 40 degrees fevers. How much it makes Celsius? Like 103, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I had this high fever. It was in Nashville, Tennessee, which
Hmm.
was hot and hilly. It
Yep.
was my first marathon, and that was quite a different experience from my first half. But I was committed to finish, and I finished. But many miles, I have no recollection. I was completely, almost blacked out. I have no memory of what happened. I don't know, except the first few miles. At the end, I finished, but like a zombie, like not knowing where I was, what happened. So that was a very different experience. So
Wow.
from that first full, I was like, okay, I did it, but it was not right. So then I wanted to try another one, to see how it would be without the high fever, and I was much better without the high fever.
Much better without a fever.
Yes.
What do you were you running with a friend or what kept you going to get across that finish line if you were pretty much kind of blacked out?
Yeah. So no, I was as the race, I was on my own. That since it was my first marathon, my husband came with me, so he was spectating, and
Mhm.
the Nashville Marathon at the time, at least, was such that spectators could see you many points of the course. And it
Mhm.
happened also that my mother from was traveling from France to visit me, so she was also here. And
Oh.
both my husband and my mother told me afterward they were seeing me, with all kind of, completely white face, and they
Yeah.
wanted me to stop. And I'm a little stubborn, or I prefer to say I have determination rather than stubborn.
Yes, you are
But
unstoppable.
I really wanted to finish because I had planned to finish 42K, which is the marathon in kilometers,
Yeah.
by when I was 42 years old, and so
Ah,
and that was the goal. And I actually had not made it. The calendar didn't work.
yeah.
So this marathon was 2 days after I turned 43.
Okay.
So so I was like, I cannot delay this more. Otherwise, 2 days post 42 years old, that's acceptable. But I cannot, doing 42K when you're 43 or 44 didn't make sense anymore. So that's what it's a stupid reason, but that was my challenge. So
I think that's pretty cool. 42K when you're 42 years old. It's like
yes,
Tan and his anniversary medals.
yes. And I have to say, Tan and I, we exchange a lot of things because I also do all the anniversary that I could. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I've done maybe a dozen or so 50-year marathons, 50th edition marathons. When I can manage to go on the special edition, I make it a
Mhm.
priority.
Duluth Grandma's Marathon is the 50th year that's coming up in June
Oh,
2026. Tan is
okay.
coming. We have some hotel
Okay, I'm
rooms.
in.
Okay, okay. Well, you have to sign up immediately,
Yes,
like the first day it
yes.
opens up. And we're going to
Okay.
have a blast. It's going to be super
I,
fun.
Yeah, I did the grandma's many years ago, but if it's the 50th year, yes. So it's in June again, this one?
Yep.
I mean,
Mid
okay.
June 2026. I feel like
Okay.
this first podcast is really just a big promo for both the Wilmington Marathon and Grandma's Marathon.
It is fine. That's what, yeah. For me,
Kind of
when
just,
when I listen to podcasts, I like to hear about people's race experiences. That gives me. That's how I got inspired at first to do
yeah.
mini marathons because I didn't know anything like the states or the maniacs or all those different goals. But that's listening to other people that give me the inspiration. So maybe we will inspire someone else who's
Yeah.
listening to us.
Yeah. So for Grandma's, I'll make sure you're on the list. We'll see if we can
Okay.
you're on my personal list to make sure
Okay.
we can help out with transportation and
That'd be
lodging and all
cool.
that kind of good
Yes.
stuff. We're getting a fun group together. I learned something new about people and their marathons is that they're doing all the letters of the alphabet.
Yes.
A, B, C, D. And so now in Minnesota, a couple years ago, one of the guys started the Xenia Avenue Marathon, which starts with an X. It's Xenia. It's in July in Minnesota, so it's perfectly beautiful. And I haven't run it yet, but it's on my list. It just hasn't worked out with our travel schedule. It's right in my backyard. I should be able to do that.
Yes.
And then,
Well,
JC started that zip code marathon in New Jersey.
yes.
So
There's
now I'm
so
going to
many ways.
have to sort my spreadsheet differently.
Yes.
How do you keep track? Do you have a couple spreadsheets or what do you do?
So when I started, I had no plan, no nothing. It was just purely random, just a few races. But again, once I heard about the maniacs,
Yeah.
the marathon maniacs, so that gave me incentive to do many marathons.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started an Excel. And at first it was very simple, but today it's a pretty
Yep.
complex Excel with many columns
Yep.
and many tabs. So I organize them. I have a tab for each year,
Mm-hmm.
and on that, let's say 2025, I put in all the race that I'm considering maybe doing.
Yep.
With all the logistics, the potential, feasibility. So I
Yes.
put this on this tab for 2025. And then once I made the selection of a race that, okay, this sounds like I really want to do it. So I make a special highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And, then I have a column, am I registered? Yes or no? Because sometimes you forgot, which one you registered. You don't
Yes.
want to pay twice a registration or
Yep.
miss one. So I have many columns with practical logistic, organization. And so once it's actually run, I highlight it, and for me, it's a gray color. I don't know why I picked gray. Uh,
Mine is
so
green. When I'm done,
yeah,
they're
green
green.
makes more sense. It's done, you turn it green. But mine are gray. So once they turn gray, at the end of the year, I select all the gray rows and put it in a new tab with it's like my cleaned up tab of for that year. With all the races that are done, and then I have a column for the count. And this Excel keeps getting bigger, because at first I was just putting the date, the name,
Yep.
and the state. And now I
Yep.
put a lot of data, traveling information. I have a column for the anniversary race, the anniversary editions.
Oh, okay.
So lots of things like that. We're science people. We like our data.
Yes.
Excel is pretty fun to make up plans and then see how much you evolved over the years, or
Yes.
evolved positively and some years negatively.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
And
that sometimes, if you lack a little bit of inspiration or wondering why you do this, why do you keep doing this? Once in a while, you go back and look at your old data and like, oh, yes, this was actually really fun. And, oh, I'd like to do that one again. And, that gives you ideas and inspiration. Like other people's races give you inspiration.
yeah, people ask me, why do I remember all these stats about my races and the people I meet? Some people only meet them once, and I only talk to them for 5 minutes, and that's it. But it's very memorable, and I have a column in my spreadsheet for the people that I meet.
Oh, that's a really good one. Yeah, I don't have that column. That's really bad of me. Yeah, I'm going to add a column to my Excel. Thank you, Sally.
Okay, so add me to Berlin and London and Wilmington and Marine Corps for sure.
Yes.
And I'm gonna put you on my little column for Grandma's Marathon to follow up with that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's this community. Like you said, you went to the beach house at Outer Banks, and it was just so fun. You kind of
Yes.
reinforce each other. And you find out, well, it's really not so crazy. Do people in your life who don't run, do they know this about you? What do they think? Do they think you're crazy? Your mom?
So usually I keep things a little separate, like my work is my work, my running is running, and then I do other stuff. But I don't volunteer necessarily that kind of information. If we're at a party, so my husband say, "Oh, Christelle is a runner," so then people engage the conversation, and if they're engaged
Yeah.
in knowing more, then I can talk about running and races for hours. But if
Yes.
if they don't engage, I just go on to something else. So yeah, many people don't know that I am a runner.
Mm.
And some of the runners that I know have no idea, for example, that I'm also a scientist, or that I love arts and I love music and I do a lot of gardening, and usually it's kind of separated. But yeah, some people, they really wonder why you run, and because they never experienced the fun of running. They remember, I guess, when they're at
Right.
school and they were
Yep.
forced to run the mile in so many minutes. So they imagine that
Yeah, it's
experience over and over. And
it's
I,
punishment.
yeah, a race is very different from a training run. A race is very different from a training run. It is full of energy. For me, it's full of joy, and really, it makes me happy. But you can always see something on the course that's interesting or beautiful. You have beautiful landscape. You have city you can discover. Of course, there's the people, both the runners, the other runners, or the spectators. And, we have a lot of conversation between runners. If you're not targeting, a PR, you can chit chat with other runners, and you can have very long conversation that you would never have outside of a long run. We have, when you follow someone for 5 miles, 6 miles or more, you tap into a different relationship. And usually people open up and share things that they would not share otherwise. So,
Yes.
and there's that community, and that's how you meet friends, when you've seen someone, that's how I met Charlotte. We're doing these
Yeah.
races and races again, and we were about the same pace. And then we're like,
Mhm.
oh, didn't I see you 2 weeks ago at that place? Yes. And so you strike a friendship, and the friendship from the races sometimes go beyond the races, and you do other things, it's really, to me, it's very fulfilling, the races. So
Mhm.
people who have never experienced that, they cannot imagine themselves running 26 miles.
Yeah.
But I think it's just they're lacking some data, they need to experience it once.
Yeah. Yeah, because in school, running is always punishment. Run till you drop, run till you throw up, run till you feel bad. I'm like, how about you just run, you find a place where you're comfortable and you feel good? That's the difference. Or, it's a competition and
Yeah,
somebody has to win,
yeah,
somebody has to lose. When you're in a big race, in a marathon with your peeps, with your people, everybody wants you to finish. It doesn't necessarily matter what your time is. And I certainly do not compete with other people because I know I'm never going to be the fastest. I'm never going to win.
yes,
Well, and that's a lie because I did actually win one of the marathons like a year ago in
that's true.
July. I think there was only one other woman that signed up, and I came in first in 6 hours and 45 minutes. And I didn't even know I was in
And you
first
still
place.
won.
And I still won. And I stopped at
Well, it
mile
happens.
26 to jump in the lake and go for a swim and cool down. It was great. So you have these,
It's a great experience. And
yeah,
people who are not runners, they don't even they don't imagine this happened, because yeah, they always think of the people that are at the front of the race, but your
mhm,
experience can be so many things all at once. And
mhm.
one race you could go for a time, but another race you go just for the fun, like our 300 marathon with Charlotte. It was just a
Yes,
party for 26 miles. That was the
it
goal. The
was.
goal was not to the goal was not to make a best time, on your watch. The goal was to make a best time of experience, a best time of fun and joy and party and friendship. And we did.
Yes, yeah. And Tom, the race director, had little bundt cake for you at the end with champagne.
Yes.
And you guys still finished in what, about 6:15? It's not a terrible time. It's a nice relaxing time.
I don't even remember exactly. Yeah, something like that. But again, it was just a time to have fun with friends. I have to say, we
Mhm.
drank on the course some.
You did.
And at some point we stopped and took a bunch of pictures, and including there's this group of ultra runners, the Yetis, that have now this tradition of taking pictures in the portaloo.
Oh,
So
in the
we came,
bathroom.
we entered maybe in the portable toilet. So we did that special picture where we were maybe, I don't know, 10 people in the one portalet,
You fit 10 people in a porta potty.
and we took some pictures there just for the fun of it.
Oh, that's
It's
hilarious.
just for the fun of it. Of course, nobody was doing it was just to take the picture.
And Charlotte had everybody dress up in pirate costumes. So you guys were carrying swords and wearing big hats, and maybe some people
Yes,
had little things around
hats and
their.
stuff. Yes. Yeah, and we had little flags to give out, and I had so my running nickname is Smiley, so I had a bunch of little Smiley, little furry keychain that I was giving out to people.
Hmm.
So it's like party favors during the race,
Yes, it was. Yeah, I still have my smiley bib
Uh-huh.
that you gave me. I had to pin that onto my shorts so people would know that I was part of the crowd. It was really fun to be a part of that. I'm so glad.
Yes.
I'm so glad we decided to come. It was just, like you said, pure
I'm
joy.
glad you came all down from Minnesota. Yes, and
Yeah.
I guess also being in the cold part of the country, coming in February in the North Carolina coast, we had a
Mhm.
beautiful weekend.
It was sunny and perfect. It was what, like 50 or 60 degrees. I was in shorts and a t-shirt. It was perfect temperature for me. Yeah.
Yes.
And my goal was to finish
Yeah.
in 6 hours, and I finished in 5:59. That was pretty close. So I
Perfect.
met my
That's
goal.
good pacing.
Yep. And I felt really good. And
You did?
I stopped a couple times to talk to you guys and to actually film a few things too, which I'd like to put on YouTube. I just haven't figured it out yet, because I'm new to this. I'm new to this podcast, social media world and stuff. Oh, so Charlotte told me you guys are friends on
Mm-hmm.
Garmin. I want to be your friend on Garmin too. Because you don't do much social media.
Yeah.
And I'm just starting.
She has a lot of friends on Garmin. I have only three because again I kept it, kind of private. So but
Yeah.
we just recently she challenged me to do something. So I got a badge for the challenge. So it's fun.
On my Garmin watch, I use it when we go boating and sometimes when we're like on a bus tour or something. So Garmin thinks I go like 55 miles an hour on the water. And it's given me all these badges that I wasn't
Oh yeah,
paying attention
yeah,
to. I
yeah.
didn't know until my friend Jose was like, wow, you just have all these badges. You do all these things. You are amazing. I'm like, oh, I think I accidentally cheated. I didn't realize I was doing this under false pretenses. I didn't know that. So when I go to Strava, I change it to the activity that I do. But I like to use it, especially when we're traveling. So when
Uh-huh.
we go to a place like Venice and we're walking around, I can link my pictures with our route and tell people where we went. And it's another way to help me remember what we did. I love that about the watch.
Yes, and people to see, travel vicariously, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I go far away, also I do post on Strava. Usually, everything is private, but when I
Mm-hmm.
do a race, especially a race, far away, I put it on public or share with friends on Strava,
Mm-hmm.
so that you get inspired again by other people's run or races and so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the nice part. So same, I'm not doing social media. I'm not too much into that. Like I said, I'm pretty private and keep
Yeah.
things separated, but yeah, races, they're public events, so you can put it on Strava and is shared. And
Mm-hmm.
but when you have YouTube stuff, you'll have to let us know.
Yeah. And then all of your friends too wanted to know when the podcast is coming out. So I have to start promoting it because I think I have about 6 or 7 episodes now. And I really wanted your 300th marathon to be the
That's
kickoff. You and Charlotte, just so much fun.
Thank you.
And I was like, these people are amazing. You have a story that deserves to be told, and you just don't give up. What's the best piece of advice you think you've ever gotten, related to running or not?
Really, I think it's relating to running. Yeah, I still have this line of thinking. Don't worry about what other people think or do. Especially don't worry about what people think about you. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
That's the best way to manage your run or other things in your life.
Yeah, because you're
Uh,
not.
one reason I'm not too much on social thing is because people tend to compare themselves or present only the best part, and it's very misleading. And then
Yeah.
if you see only people having fabulous life, etc., it can affect you thinking that you're the only one with some highs and lows. In reality,
Mhm.
everybody has highs and lows. So
Yes.
yeah, it's nice to not worrying about other people, and do your own thing. What works for
Yeah.
you, or
Hmm.
what sometimes it's okay to have something not work for you and you just go on to something else. It's okay.
I think that's why people are gravitating more towards reality TV and podcasts and things because it doesn't have to be perfect, and you see this completely made up person, like all these images in the magazines, everybody looks so perfect and beautiful. And people aren't into that anymore. People know that there's a whole world out there. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody's gonna look perfect all the time. And you do go through tough times. They want to hear from real people what they've been through. And I know you've gone through a lot of challenges, coming here on your own, and your father had just passed away and basically starting your life over again.
Yes.
And then doing these other challenges that you faced. What do you're so resilient. What do you think resilience means to you?
For me, resilience, it could be many things, but basically is to, at the center of it, is to consider that even when you have tough time, you can keep some form of hope
Yes.
and keep working at things. And you can have good time and bad times, but you can go through. You don't have to be stopped by the wall. You can go around the wall. You can go above the wall. You can chip the bricks away to go through the wall. And
Mhm.
I'm not just talking about the wall that you have at 20 miles. Just also those things, that those problems and challenges and things that everybody experience one way or the other. Of course, some people have really, really tough challenges that are really a hard thing, a major wall. So
Yeah.
everybody has different size of walls, but we can keep hope that we have the ability somehow to manage to go on the other side. So for
Yeah.
me, that's resilience. That's keeping in mind that you can keep working at it. You can even when you are in a really really rough situation, there's still hope. For some people, this hope is brought by, I don't know, their communities, a religion, or whatever. It could be many things, but it's something you have deep inside you.
Mhm.
I guess it's a mindset also that you can cultivate. People think that that some people are born with resiliency and
Mhm.
persistence. And I think that's not the case. Maybe people are born with different level to start with, but everybody can build up, and it's really like a muscle. You can have
Yeah.
it practice and exercise your resiliency muscle. And and there's even techniques, same as you can train for running, you can train to improve your mindset and your resiliency. There's actually, I just for fun, I took a sports psychology class recently at the
Mhm.
university, and
Mhm.
that was one of the things we went over. There are actually proven techniques to change and improve your resiliency.
Ah,
So that's
yes.
very, that's something that if you don't give up, then lower your arms. You can, and even if you lower your arms at some point, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be hand tied forever. There's
Mhm.
moments you're gonna lower your arms, and you can rise them up again and work at whatever is your challenge.
Mhm. Yeah, when I'm running and I'm feeling tired, I will shake out my arms. I'm
Yeah,
keep running, but I straighten out my arms, shake out my hands, shake my head back and forth, nod my head up and down, open and close my jaw. Do a couple of these really simple physical things to just kind of reset,
exactly.
because I think
Reset,
uh,
reframe your mind. There's many of those things that people can do, and you can, the same techniques that you would do during a hard race, you can also implement them in your daily life.
mm-hmm,
I think one nice thing about one of the nice thing about training for long runs is that it makes you cultivate this skill. It's really a skill. Someone can I don't know, dribble a basketball really well, do this and that. It's a skill, and you can practice skill for your mental side too, how you manage things.
Yeah, because some people get caught in repetitive thinking where, they're thinking over and over again, like, I
Mm-hmm.
can't do it, something like that. And the more you say that to yourself, the more it comes true. And so if you just open up your mind and say, yeah, I can do that. Or maybe I can do a small step. Maybe this little part, I can do that. And when you're doing something like a marathon or facing another hard challenge, every little step of it that you complete is an accomplishment. And it reinforces it. You learn that, oh, I can do that. I can face that challenge. I can do this part of it. And I think that's why people gravitate towards ultras and bigger challenges is because they know they can do the 26 miles. Oh, well, maybe they can do a 50K, which is what, 31 miles. Oh, maybe they can do the 50 miler. Maybe they can do something else. And I think the same holds true in life with other problems. Once you face some of those problems and you've overcome this challenge and you know that you can handle something like that again.
Yes, exactly. It's a skill. You practice a skill, and sometimes you'll be better. You'll learn the skill faster or not so fast, but you can always work on that skill. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I truly believe that.
That's great. Well, what are you working on now? What's your next goal?
So I'm still in that post 300 time where I'm considering different options.
Uh-huh.
So I want to complete my six majors.
Yep.
So which by the way I got accepted to Tokyo, so I'm very very excited.
You did.
Yes.
Yeah, with
S-
marathon tours, or did you join the
No,
lottery?
I got on a challenge lottery thing.
Oh, great. Yeah, Ton is signing up with marathon tours.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. I should be signing up too. So, but you got in. So, yeah, go.
Uh-huh.
Go. Tell me how it is.
So the majors, which hopefully, I mean, then it will be only Boston left. So hopefully, we'll see about that.
And you
Uh,
qualified.
I
Yay.
qualify, so that's the first step, and then we'll see.
Mhm.
And then I want us to do, so we were talking about the 50 states.
Yeah.
I will not pursue very actively more 50 state. I mean, if it
Mm-hmm.
happens, that's great. But I really like to travel, so
Yeah.
as much as my budget and my time budget
Mm-hmm.
allow me, I'd like to do races in different countries,
Me
different
too.
continents.
Yeah.
But the big goals is to really increase my ultra racing. So
Mm-hmm.
I've done a bunch of ultras.
Yeah.
I've done a dozen hundreds.
Yep.
I'm gonna do more. I sign up with Charlotte and another friend. We sign up for our first 200 milers.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah, I know Charlotte said she wanted to run 100 mile races. Are
yes,
you, do you have that
she
goal too?
no, and she's well into that goal. I mean, she's progressing well. I'm not committed to that
Mhm.
really because my thinking is that I'm too committed to too many goals and too many things.
Yeah.
And so those different goals are kind of out competing each other a little bit.
Mhm.
And I think if you want to do your hundreds, especially when you start, doing ultras, in your 50s,
Mhm.
is great. But I'm still not committed because if I do this, then I can't do all those other goals.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm debating, but I'm so far away. It doesn't sound like a reachable goal. I'm getting older too,
Mhm.
so I'm not sure. But Charlotte is well onto her way for hundreds. Yes.
Yeah. Where is your 200 miler? What race is that?
So that will be Florida, across Florida 200. That's in mid-November.
Mm-hmm.
So we go from the west coast to the east coast of Florida, but that
Uh-huh.
would be too short if you were just going straight.
Okay.
So you go through through Florida, but it's still with some kind of zigzag to make the full 200. So, and
Wow.
it's the the course goes through many different things. Like there's a whole section that is a marsh, so you can be in the water, with ankle deep or knee deep in water
Oh.
for quite a long time. So I'm not
Oh.
too excited about that part.
What about the alligators?
I don't know. I'm not afraid of alligators. I'm more afraid of spiders.
Oh. Oh yeah, now they have boa constrictors. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think, except if you nap on the trail, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think the pythons will be a problem. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
But
okay, so bring some defense with you.
yeah, I'll just smile at the thing and say, "Go
Oh.
away, shoo shoo,
Yeah.
go away."
I still get afraid like if I'm in the woods somewhere and I'm by myself too much. I'm like, oh, is there like a puma or a cat that's going to come
Yeah.
out and get me? You mentioned something about coyotes watching you.
Yeah, one race I was doing it was a very small ultra. It was a very small in terms of number of people. It was a 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like maybe 2 or 3 a.m. and everybody had kind of taken a rest at
Mm-hmm.
the loop start. But I kept going, and I like in middle of the night I was all by myself, far in the middle of the woods. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a coyote really stalked me for quite a
Oh,
while, and
oh no.
that was a little experience.
Wow.
He would not let go, and
Oh,
yes, he kept that stalking me for quite a while, and I ended up, I took some stick off the ground and
yes.
made a lot of noise and tapped the stick, kind of like a drumming thing. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually he let it go. I guess I was too loud or too. I was not really, I was not petrified, but I was not completely comfortable either. I was in that stage where you're like,
Yeah.
huh, is this a little bit dicey? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll pick up a stick too.
And especially, yeah, when I run, usually I don't run with my phone. I don't have my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I was all by myself for miles and miles. So,
Yeah. Well, and the other night, we had coyotes that just started howling like crazy at 3 in the morning the other day. And it was really cool, but it felt like the house was surrounded.
oh yes,
And then we went out and realized in the morning that this deer that had gotten hit by a car was gone. So we
uh,
think the coyotes had found the deer and then they were calling to
drag
each
it.
other to come out and
Yes,
eat it and have a feast.
yeah, yeah.
So I think they enjoyed it.
I live also in the woods now, and I
Mhm.
have some backyard chickens, and we see coyotes all the time. They come sometimes. They get my chickens and stuff.
Oh, do
But
they?
yeah,
Oh,
and
that,
and we see a lot of coyotes very close, even where we park our cars. Sometimes coyotes came, 20 feet from the house. Really, they're
oh.
getting bold. But that experience in the woods at 3 a.m. was different because that animal didn't have a normal behavior. He
Mm-hmm.
was really stalking me, and that's not right for a coyote. Usually they try to avoid people. They prefer to get some kind of as a prey. But anyway.
Mhm. You would be difficult. Yeah, I did one of the overnight races.
Uh-huh.
What are they? The Ragnar relays.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And during my section, there was some kind of large kitty cat sitting off on the side of the road. All I could really see was their eyes looking back at me. I don't know if it was a lynx, some other
Mm-hmm.
small animal. It was cute yet kind of terrifying at the same
Yes.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my friends went by in the van and saw the animal too, and were wondering if I had seen it. And yes, I did see it, and I ran a lot faster after that. It was good
Yes.
motivation.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I'm looking at my notes again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What is next for you?
Oh,
I mean, beside the West Virginia 50 years, this, okay.
okay. So I don't have too many on the books yet. Okay, but it's hopefully it's West Virginia next
Mm-hmm.
week. And then I'm hoping to do this one in Italy while we're on our
Oh,
vacation.
yeah.
Mike says, "Do you always have to find a marathon during our vacations?" Why,
Oh,
yes. Yes, I do.
my
Don't you know
husband
me?
is telling me the same.
And one of my friends invited me to go to Fairbanks, like before we go on our trip. And I was like, wow, that's really exciting. I should do that. That would be really fun. And then when I mentioned it to my husband, he was appalled. He's like, you're going to put our trip in jeopardy. You might get injured.
Mm.
That's too soon. You're cramming too much in. You always like to do too much. I'm like, but I may never do Fairbanks. He's like, I know all these opportunities.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Alaska is so great. Yeah.
oh.
But that's funny because Mike is telling you basically what Steve is telling me.
And I was thinking about it later, going, he's teaching me to be afraid because my friend told me about this race and I got really excited about it. It didn't occur to me to be afraid or risky or worried about anything. And it is a tough race. You have to go up this mountain like 2,000 feet and then back down again. You have 10 hours to finish it. It would
Oh,
definitely
wow.
be a bigger challenge for me. And I know I would walk a lot of it going up that mountain. And I think back down,
Mm-hmm.
you'd end up walking. And so it would just be like a 10-hour walk in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be tough with the travel schedule, but I was
Yeah.
still excited about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
so
it's sometimes tough choices when there's so many exciting stuff to do.
mhm. Yeah. So I think he's getting used to the idea though that I am going to do this one in Italy when we're on our vacation. So he's
Yeah.
seems
Where
more
is
comfortable
it?
with that. It's in Via Ramaggio, south of Cinque Terre.
Oh, that'd be great. Beautiful
Yeah.
there. Nice area.
Yeah, and it has an 8-hour cutoff. It's on the bike trails. It looks like it's flat. And
Ooh.
it's only like 30 minutes from my hotel.
Oh, you cannot miss that.
I
You
know.
cannot miss that.
Oh, it's like, oh, well, if I don't go to Fairbanks, well, I want to go to Fairbanks and do this one, but really it's not practical. It's
Yeah, it may not, but maybe the friend
not.
will invite you to do Fairbanks next year.
I hope so. Yeah, she just finished her 50 state and now she's just doing ones for fun. And she was in
Yeah.
Minnesota last year. We ran in Bemidji together. It was super fun with Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been meeting all these really, really fun people, and they want to explore and do cool things. And I'm so happy that you're in my life. Thank you, Christelle.
Yeah, well, thank you, Sally. It's always interesting to hear about other runners. I think a lot of runners are very interesting people for many reasons. And
Hmm.
they are people with passion, and most of us, we get excited about things, We're not dragging our feet to the next adventure. We get excited about the next adventure.
We're saying yes to things. When
Yes.
when I was in high school, I made a conscious decision that I should say yes to things. If somebody asked me to do something, I should go and do it.
Yeah.
And people won't believe this that I'm kind of naturally introverted. I've taught myself to be an extrovert. Even one of those personality tests came up that I'm an extroverted introvert. I like my
Yes. Yeah.
alone time, which is another
Yeah.
reason I think why the running and the marathon appeals to me because you're by yourself. No one can do it for you. You're out there in your own thoughts in your own head and it's just quiet time, you know.
Yes.
And
Until you're ready to strike a conversation with another runner, and then
uh-huh.
you do it for the time that works for you, and then you go back to your own flow and your own in your mind thing. Yeah, it's meditation if you want, and then it can be a party if you want. It's all those options. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's nice.
mhm.
And yeah, the moving meditation really helps me a lot.
Yes, yeah, it does help again for your mental health. At least for me, It's really, when I'm stressed out, I go on a run. I come back. I'm in a better state and ready to do something good. And it's always hard to start a run. People also who are not runners.
Mhm.
They always think we're ready to lace up at any moment. That's really not the case. Most of the runs, they're hard to start, but
Yeah.
once you're there, then that's when you feel that moving meditation effect. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to tell myself, just run for 30 minutes. Just go out and run that quick 3 miles. It's just a 5K. You'll feel better. You don't have to go a long way. I just got to give myself this little trick, especially if it's a treadmill. Oh, just 30 minutes on the treadmill. But once
Oh.
I start, I'll be out, 2 hours, 3 hours, or I'll stick it out at least an hour on the treadmill. But just overcoming that inertia and getting going takes a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Yeah, the start is the hardest. And for me, when it's like that, I don't even don't tell myself 3 miles. I say just 1 mile. Just
Just
try
1 mile.
one mile.
I
And
like it.
sometime after a mile and a half, I'm like, no, that's enough for today. And well, whatever, that's fine. And then sometimes you say 1 mile and you end up, like you said, doing, 4, 5, 6, whatever. But,
Uh-huh.
the day where after 1 mile you say, well, that's good enough. You're like, okay, that was good. Made me feel better, but that's enough. It's okay.
Yeah. You got to get yourself off that couch somehow,
Yeah.
whatever it takes. Well, the idea, the hope is that people are listening to this while they're doing their training runs, and
Yes.
hopefully it keeps them moving more.
Yes.
Maybe they started with their 1 mile and they can listen to part of the podcast and then do their next mile tomorrow and listen to the rest of us and keep going. So
Yes.
keep going
That sounds like a good plan.
until they don't realize all of a sudden they run 5 miles and now our little podcast is wrapping up.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on your trip
Well,
tomorrow. And thank you again for talking again and squeezing me in before your trip. That's a really big deal. Say hi to your husband for me.
you're very welcome. That was really nice to talk with you again.
Yes. So you are truly extraordinary and absolutely unstoppable in pretty much everything you do. And I wish you the best in your future races. I know we will connect again. Absolutely. You are just determined and dedicated, and once you're committed to something, you just keep doing it. I think you had that switch in your brain. You're committed. I'm going to see this through until it's finished. And I love and respect that about you. You don't give up when it's tough, and you are completely unstoppable. So,
Well, thank you, Sally.
okay. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. I hope you enjoyed listening to it and learned a few things. Well, the people that we talked about today, they don't quit, and neither should you. Whether you're running marathons, rebuilding your life, or just searching for that next spark, you are more capable than you think. If this episode hits home, share it, subscribe, leave a review. Let's build this community together of relentless people who refuse to stop moving forward. And if you want to do something even bigger, support the mission. We're raising $1 million for medical research, and your support makes a difference. Check out our website at unstoppablestoriesthatmove.com. I'm Sally Hed Dahlquist. Until next time, keep running, keep pushing, and never stop proving to yourself what's possible.